Hey everyone, so I'm doing a video on HEX Coin. I saw someone post in the comments to do a video on this, and I thought that since we're in the crypto winter, it'd be a good time to cover this and kind of look at some charts as well. Sorry for the delay here. We had some personal stuff going on, but hopefully we'll be back now and doing more videos, and really inspired by all the comments, and thankful, appreciative of everyone that's in the community here. So let's get to it. I really don't know much about HEX, so I'm definitely not a subject matter expert on the coin and its utility. But I know that it does operate on the Ethereum network or blockchain. And it's kind of interesting when you look at some of the cosmic connections to ETH, which I'll talk about as well. But just for starters, its birthday is December 2nd, 2019. It's a 3 of diamonds, 5 of spades with a 7 of diamonds decadent ruler. And it's interesting, the 3 of diamonds, that's Donald Trump's birth card. These people, or this energy, is really here to catalyze and create and be a little bit of a disruptor, and change things up. They're breaking the norms, cut against the grain a little bit, and they don't really wait around for permission in their highest expression, which you can appreciate with a 3. A 3 really needs to have an outlet for their creativity. The 3 of diamonds is one of the tougher 3s to have, I would say. But they're mostly challenged in relationships. So their focus or their indecision or anxiety is really around money or value. And within this energy, either the creators or the owners of this HEX coin should really be trying to trust their own gut instincts, because the diamonds also rules our stomach and our gut instincts. So you always want to try to line up what your stomach is saying versus your mind or your heart under this energy. But they have a great detective mind with their Ace of Spades and Mercury. It really allows them to dive deep into the weeds and change things up, So 3 energy, very social, which is nice. Now their 5 of spades is going to bring new forms of consciousness in a way, new awareness. They're breaking outside of the box. They're changing it up. I believe that they're basically trying to replace the traditional bank CD model so that you could be your own bank, which is a total 5 of spades thing to do. If you think about the foundation and the structure of big banks and bureaucracy, and the 5 doesn't want to have anything to do with that. They want freedom, and it's a change. It's the strongest change card. And then when you look at the 7 of diamonds, the 7s are always a little funky. There's highs and there's lows with any 7. And again, with our diamonds, we're focused on value. We're focused on money. But they're really here to help us pivot our values and adjust. So the best thing a 7 of diamonds can do is to be ahead of the curve in what they're trying to change, what role they're taking. And there's really no middle ground with these people. So I think even if you look at the chart, you see that their chart is they have highs and they have lows, and it doesn't seem like they spend a lot of time in the middle of the range. I always see 7s as either a double bottom or a double top when I'm looking at charts. So, it's relatively young, 2019 birthday. 19 could be associated with sickness, COVID-19. I wouldn't look too much into that, but it is a Neptune year for the 3 of diamonds, 5 of spades, which, kind of means that until December 2nd, it's going to be kind of hard to read. It might just kind of be floating around, not a lot of direction and price. So there's not a lot of clarity, and the crypto winter is technically supposed to end like October 6th or October 12th or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you could slowly accumulate if you have belief in this coin, in belief in the model and what they're trying to solve. But I wouldn't look for much resolution until it enters Mercury and it enters a brand new 7-year spread, essentially. So just at the tail end of this spread, and it's going to enter its new 7-year spread at its next birthday. Okay, it's a one life path, and we're also in a one universal year, so that kind of bodes well. It's a match of energy, and when you look at the gematria, it's also a 1. It's equals 37 in ordinal. It's in a 5 personal year, which is, good for expansion. It's good for, breaking out of the box. Perhaps there's a breakout coming. And then last year would have been its tougher clash year if you look at Bazai, astrology or that system. The pig year would have clashed with the snake year. So it's out of the woods there, and you could see, it retraced from highs, which I'll show you, and is pretty much sitting at lows now, so it can't get much lower, which is nice. It's also a pig month. I just want to talk about the cardology again real quickly when you look at the energy of these threes. So, 3 really has to use its creative energy. It has a lot of energy wound up, and it's usually due to the nature of the 3 being ruled by Mercury because of Gemini, the 3rd house, and so there could be a lot of back and forth or indecision with this, maybe even where they want to take it. So that's why I mentioned to line up their gut instincts. 5 of spades is the explorer. It's the let's get a new experience card. Let's change things up. Let's leave the home. And you could see us, them trying to leave the home of traditional finance. And then again, the 7. When I see the 7, I could see like a double bottom here. I could see a double top. There's also a pivot here, like a breakout. As a 7, there's an asymmetric pattern here, and you cannot fit in. If you try to fit in and do things the way other coins have done, you won't be successful. You really feed off of being much different, being a little wacky, and not abusing your power, because a lot of 7s come into this life with karmas of 8. And there's just some power issues with 7s in general. The 7 of diamonds is also a semi-fixed card. So, you might, it's a special card in the sense that there's going to be a little stubbornness there, but it could also have the highs and lows of the 9 of hearts. So, like, disappointing people or feeling really, really high and positive and happy and enlightened in life. The 7 energy might also give it really good rebounding energy. So it hit a high of, I don't even know what it was yet. I'll look at the chart. Say it hit a high of $1 and now it's back near 0. This 7 could help it rebound because there's really not a lot in the middle with 7s, and you're either high or low. So something to think about. When we go to the spreads for HEX, just looking at it, here kind of for the first time. I just noted that we were in its Neptune year, which with the 9 of spades could definitely bring lows, could bring endings. And it's just something that would bring frustration or disappointment. Pretty good Neptune card there, though, for the 7 of diamonds. And what we'll do is we'll just go right next to, let's see, for the rest of the year. We'll look at the yearly spread. It's currently in its Mars 52-day period until May 8th. So we'll see if Mars brings any partnership or endings of partnership, because there is a 9 of diamonds down there. It's displacing the 5 of spades, which could help it break out, help it bring forth new information. 10 of diamonds in Mars is good. Mars is an amplifier, so through their messaging, 6 of clubs, or sharing their knowledge or being a vessel of higher knowledge, It could help them be kind of the center of attention. That's the way you might interpret the 10 of diamonds. You can see they have the 6 of clubs down here as well, and they have worked solutions, the 8 of spades. That's just one way to take it. You know, the 10 of diamonds could also just represent like a lump sum of money that they bring in, like maybe an investment. You know, the 5 of spades and Mars, what you might worry about them is being a little too restless, being too changeable, and that 9 of clubs could bring frustration, disappointments, or like an ending of the way they're thinking about something, an ending of plans. Now, when you look at their Jupiter cards for the year, you have like a partnership through passion. So, you know, I don't know if they're going to partner with anyone. They should use the King of Hearts this year for their messaging, heartfelt messaging, speaking from feelings, from their passion. That would probably benefit them financially, or at least to expand. They have the 8 of spades, the 8 of clubs, infinite mind power for the year will help them advance. Infinite solutions that are woven for their tribe, for the people using this, so really focusing on their customers. Now, the 9 of diamonds in Jupiter doesn't have to be difficult or bad. Actually, in a lot of ways, it means climbing up the ladder of financial success. This is a very presidential card. You know, Barack Obama, George Bush, they're both 9 of diamonds. And with the 2 diamonds, partnerships benefit them, or there could be an ending, but that ending might also benefit them since it's in Jupiter. Looking at the end of the year, there should be a focus on mastering their craft, on inner mastery. So whatever tweaks have to be made for their business model or whatever they're doing, you know, that's more likely to happen, and that happens through writing, through authoring something, or teaching. But this is a writer's card, so whatever they have to write, they should be writing about their own personal mastery, or what they've mastered, or what inner excellence HEX Coin has that they've built. 8 of clubs, great way to end the year, so they might have to stop thinking a certain way, or drop ideas, or they might have to give more knowledge out to everyone that helps others, that helps ETH, that might help other blockchains. I don't know if they're doing that already, but by them teaching and giving more to the universal good, this 8 of clubs is going to bring a lot better mental solutions, or just ideas that help the people that are using this service. Again, King of Diamonds King of Diamonds Pluto with the 3 of clubs result for the year. So, you know, as they enter their Saturn, Uranus, Neptune period, you might start to see them writing. I don't know if they're going to like publish a white paper or something. Maybe they already have. I know that seems to be the norm with some of this stuff, but look for them to publish something maybe. When we look at their new 7-year spread, you know, it's a lot of years to try to predict, but you know, if you're just looking at their 7-year Jupiter, the 8 of clubs and King of clubs is terrific there. Them just using their mind power to bring success in business, financial success. King of clubs is the king of truth. They have to share their truth. You have the 6 of club result at the end of 2032. Again, just being a vessel of knowledge. They do have the 7 of diamonds in Jupiter in 2029, which is a millionaire's card. You know, so that's that's something by them being social, being out in the open with the Ten of Hearts karma. They really want to get out and talk with the people and build relationships. The Seven of Diamonds could really come into play here for them. So, like maybe 2029 is the year where you might see a breakout with this coin. They also have the Seven of Diamonds as a result. So that Seven of Diamonds can really go one of two ways with the result. It could be them getting over the hump, and breaking out and having some stability in price, or it could be them staying range bound highs and lows, or still kind of struggling in terms of price. The way that they get there for the high side of the Seven of Diamonds, which would be expected as a result, is through selling their artistry, selling their craft, promoting it. So the Jack of Diamonds are really good at sales. They're really good at promotion, and they should promote what they're doing and sell what they're doing, and maybe they have to look into that a little bit more too. All right, and lastly, with the Seven of Diamonds, they're always going to displace either the Nine of Hearts or the Seven of Diamonds. So this is going to have kind of a Saturn effect for the next 7 years, at least in this spread. But you could see, like, the Ten of Hearts. Ten of Hearts is the actor's card. They're really good actors, or they're just really good at dealing with people. So they really want to use that sociability to their benefit. The Jack of Clubs result can give them really good ideas that are prosperous, make them really creative. They're really smart. The Eight of Spades and Pluto is asking them not to try to control everything, try not to have power issues with others. And this is just, I'm just kind of doing a quick reading off the top of my head here. I mean, there's so many ways this can go, and it's a little bit harder to transform it into like a coin, but, you don't see anything terrible. Like, you don't see sevens or nines here in Mars. You see a Nine of Diamonds here in Saturn. I mean, that would be a tough influence. That would be disappointment in finances. That would be an ending of a role, of a job. But that King of Clubs there is probably going to help it out. So that's kind of just eyeballing what I see for the spreads. I'll take another look at them. This is a cosmic comparison between HEX and Ethereum. Ethereum is July 30th, which makes it a double Jack of Hearts, a Leo double Jack of Hearts. And there's no doubt that it's on the Ethereum network. It relies on new users and Ethereum. It's also, the cosmic connections prove that. This moon connection, Ethereum, is the sun card to HEX. So HEX is moon to ETH, and in the life spread, and then also in the spiritual spread. So these moon connections are really intimate. However, there is a directional energy flow, and that flow is going from moon to sun. And so, in a way, HEX is supporting, helping to guide, assist Ethereum, but Ethereum is really the one that rules the relationship, that rules the direction of it. They choose what they want to do. So that's something to keep in mind. The other challenge I see for HEX Coin is that in the life spread, Ethereum is Saturn to HEX, and in the spiritual spread, it's also Saturn to HEX. So there's going to be lessons or karmic challenges that Ethereum might place onto HEX, or challenges given to either the developers or the users of HEX. So it's something to look out for. There could also just be other karmic issues. The Mars connections are good for like serving a purpose and stuff. We like that. So these are mutual Mars. One is in the spiritual spread and one is in the life spread. So you have this equal purpose, equal shared passion, which is great. You want a little Mars in a relationship. And the fifth connection is HEX is Uranus to Ethereum in the life spread, which is a friendly connection. It's a little unsteady. In a way, Ethereum might not know where HEX stands all the time. So, those are kind of your relationship connections there. And when we look at the actual chart, HEX USD on TradingView here, what do we see? 2020 accumulation up to 50 cents, 51 cents. And where are we at now? We are just pretty much at the bottom. And I guess, what do we have going for us from a technical perspective? If we really zoom in here, what do we see on, what is this? This is a monthly chart. Let's do, we're looking at a 6-month chart from lows, from our lows of basically zero here, but we were able to shoot up to 0.0068, and we're retracing. And if I was going to be a buyer of HEX, I would start accumulating here at the 61.8, which is a traditional line of failure. I also love this 70.2, which is a level that I came up with by myself that I find trades on the indices for futures all the time, and I think that it correlates with the volume profile and the bell curve that like 2/3 of the volume is going to be traded within 70% of space, and I find that that's a great spot. But you also see stocks kind of dip into this 78.6 level, and all you're looking at is, what's the discount from highs. So do I want a 50% discount, which is like right here? I took that one off. Do I want a 60% discount, which is right here? So you could be a buyer with targets of 0.08, but since this is a 7, and this doesn't have to be technical at all, it could just shoot up. I just want to look at what all is again. It could shoot up to the top of its range again if it wants to. If Bitcoin is going to shoot up, then it could carry this back up here, which was a high in September of 21. Again, though, I don't know enough about what's going on fundamentally. If you look at, let's say, if we look at Bitcoin, let's say if we look at Bitcoin here, this is hourly charts. So you saw from our lows of 65, well, this is, I don't think that was the ultimate low, was it? Here we go. All right, so from our highs, we really haven't had the retracement yet into 85 or 93, but we have that low of 60,000, which, by the way, I believe is just a perfect halfway back. If you go 0 to highs, let's make this 0. This is a perfect 50% retracement, and I could even just take this away. Let's just pretend we're in the uptrend here the whole time. All right, so if you look at 0 to highs on Bitcoin, we're just at a perfect 50% off sale. It's just a half off sale with targets of 157,000. As long as we're defending this. But, a dip into this 37,000 wouldn't surprise me, or 48 as well. That's fine. If you want to be a buyer and just accumulate Bitcoin, you're happy that it's making new lows as long as you believe in it. And then what's happening from this low, that's really what you want to look at. So we're going to look at, we'll just do 100. We could do 90 days. What do you think? This is fine. So we'll look at that low. We defended at the 78.6. We hit our profit target at 75. Defended this almost 70.2 level, basically. $200 away from it. And now we just had a dip into highs here, and that dip into highs could send it back to the bottom of the range if it defends like a failed breakout, or we could just use our fibs for the next pullback to see if any of this holds for targets of 78. So, I mean, basically you're going to look at Bitcoin for any of this stuff to see if it could raise the tide for all the other coins. And again, the Bitcoin winter is supposed to end in October. This is really interesting, this code that I've set up in my trading Discord. I have a colleague that writes this code, has been tweaking it, and they are fair value gaps. It's amazing the way it works. This is on a 4-hour chart. And you can see for entries, it'll bounce off this gap, give you a great entry into the trend. Here, didn't work so much. We're still tweaking it on the higher time frames. But even here, if you're trading this and you're getting in, you're probably taking profits somewhere by the VWAPs or whatever they want, or at least going to break even. So we're still working on that code. It works better with certain instruments. But something to look forward to that I'm also working on. So I'm going to try to keep doing these videos. Really appreciate your comments, and I believe that is what I have for HEX Coin right now in the moment. Obviously when you're buying at such lows, at least your stop loss or your risk is pretty low, in terms of how far it could retrace, and should be interesting to see what happens come October. But you can't get any worse really from here, and there's a lot of upside. The one thing you could look for, let's just delete this. Alt F, is it? We could draw from highs to lows here, and we could draw from highs to lows, and just imagine, if you got into a squeeze here, you could start to look at 19 cents, 25 cents, 31 cents to at least trim or take some profit, or at least set your trade to break even, because those are the opposing measure moves down that could get in the way of a squeeze. So just something to think about if you are actively managing this. If you're not, it's okay too, but those are points where I might trim my position, or at least make sure that I'm not going to lose on that investment or that trade. So that's it for HEX. Hope you enjoyed. Share your comments down below. Thanks.